All right. I thought since I had done my calendar for the year 2014, I thought maybe I should now do I keep this little notebook. I don't know. I've probably shown you guys before. Right beside me, right beside me. That's what you see me twisting, and when I'm writing something now, so I don't forget, and I sketch things, especially for continuity, because I knew towards the end of the book I had to have some kind of continuity. I knew, um, like I spoke of when Belinda was out for her first one was out for her first ride, that she looks over the it's sunset and she looks towards the west where the farm is, and that's when the sun's going down, and that the morning of the fire he looks to the my hero looks to the east, which is the way town is. And um that because he wanted to look at the sunrise, and that is when he saw that, that something was on fire. He didn't know what it was at the time, that it was a saloon. And I thought it might um not confusing to me once I figured it out, but I figured I should sketch it out and put it so you could actually get that out of there. So you could actually kind of see that the jail is all right. Come on. I keep forgetting this stuff is backwards. Okay. The jail is right there. The jail is there. And the doctor's house is there. And the boarding house is there. And the general store is there. And that's where the saloon was. And of course, the row of houses, the church is this way. And the row of houses with the, where the townspeople live that live in town, or like up and down here, the blacksmith shop is like up that way. All that stuff's that way. So, because I'm trying to do this backward. And then the farm would be this way. The farm would be this way because I'm trying to do this back. The farm would be this way. So that's consistent with what I wrote. Um, and it's funny, I have just the buildings that are on the farm. The farmhouse, the summer kitchen, the let me see, the bunkhouse, the wash house, the main house, the summer kitchen, the outhouses, the barn, the smokehouse, the foreman's house, and the Indian couple's house, and his offices, and the mill. But I never really sketched it out. If I did, I did it somewhere else. I don't remember that I did it, but it's so funny. I did the New Orleans house. That's so funny. I would do that. Um, Maybe because it was the end, and I was just so happy. But I'm not going to try to even point anything out because you're not going to be able to see it. I got to figure out how to do that. I see other people put stuff up, but um, the they had a big giant courtyard in the back. They had a beautiful, beautiful lawn like in the back. I tried to, and it looked just like a real, one of those plantation houses with the pillars and all this stuff. The kitchen was an outside kitchen, and it was a vegetable garden and wash house and all carriage house, and all that stuff was to the back, away from the away from the house, all that stuff. And then there was a little gateway into what they called the galley, where they actually like um put the food in the plates and all that stuff. They cooked it in a different room, and then they had a little breezeway kind of that they would go into and finish set it up. And then the cook usually had her rooms like to the side of the kitchen, somewhere during the kitchen. um I don't know what that long room is. Service stairs. Then they have the service stairs. They get up to around. There's a solarium and a family room, and his study, and then on the other side there's the courtyard. There's wet sink, dry sink, all this stuff, and then the rose garden and the morning room. It's her the mistress of the house, her it was it's called the morning room because that's where she went and answered her mail, It was kind of like her study, like her room, like nowadays her quilting room or whatever she would have, or her home office, her office. Um, and it was right off of the Rose Garden. That's one of the places she really loved. The dining room, and then they had a formal like reception room, and they had a wraparound porch. And like I said, on the other side of the hallway was his study, and then the stairs. And on the second floor, um, is a sleeping porch. Um, yeah, and the nursery and the nanny's quarters. This is on the second floor, and then uh, the young girls' room. They called it Lemon Room. The teenage girl that goes with them. She's the shop owner in the town's daughter. Her water closet, her little sitting room, her dressing room, all that stuff's on that floor, which is the second floor. Um, there's two guest rooms up there, and as you can see, there she's not even on the same floor with with her own children. She hates that. And then on the third floor, of course, was pretty much a bath, a bath, a sleeping porch around the two, and it was her bedroom and dressing rooms and his bedroom and dressing rooms. But of course, they had a um, an adjoining door, but it was kind of proper that that they occupied separate rooms. Of course, she slept in there, but um, then in the attic space, there's the living like the tippy top of the house was the live-in servants homes, rooms where they slept, sleeping porches. The housekeeper had a room to herself, housekeeper's room. um the major domos or butler, he had his own room, whatever, and then the rest of it was just storage space and stuff like that. And the house in Missouri really, and like I said before, as I when I go, or either if some I come across something interesting like some stamps or something, I'll tape it in here. If I get a little funny cartoon, as you notice as I picked it up, stuff was hanging down. Anything I have to make notes of, and like I said before, when I use the note, I actually scratch it out so I won't be doubling back. I don't have time to do my work once, more or less do it twice. So that looks like that's pretty much going to be the end of the oh yeah, I was going to tell you about the house in Missouri, and then that's it. I'm not really tired, but I don't want to get wound up because I'm going to treat myself to an all night um YouTube-a-thon. I love it. I'm such a YouTube junkie. Oh my gosh. Um, what's going to talk about? Yeah. Oh, well, the house in Missouri actually, the house is the biggest building to the front of the farm. Um, it's still back a lot from the road. Um, it's basically a great room with a bedroom, the bedroom on the side there. Um, and mudroom, back porch, mudroom kind of thing. She has the kitchen in the house pretty much, but uh, it's just in they have like almost a whole wall full of just books, his books and journals and stuff like that in the house. And on the next floor, the top floor is the family's sleeping quarters, their master bedroom, big room, with a kind of a water closet sort of, and dressing room, of course. And there's a nursery for the baby, and a bedroom for the little girl. And I think they have two um guest rooms up there. I want to say, I'm not really sure. And then on the next floor is sort of her little office space. I think it might be another bedroom or something up there. I can't remember. I don't remember what's on that floor, but I know it's. And then there's like an actual attic space where like the children play when it's cold, and where they hang clothes, and she has her um flowers for the winter up there. There's a big window um where she and these are things that are a sign of wealth. I have no idea in the second book about anything. I kind of have the layout of the club space. I kind of got a layout of that in my mind, even though I wanted a different kind of stage. I wanted a the way I wanted the let's see, to block the musical numbers and stuff, the way I wanted the actually wanted the stage to be set. The stage is going to end up being in the round, which I don't know, but that would be the only way like a woman would actually do a fan dance. She wouldn't do it up on a stage, like I can't see it. And plus I want her to be more vulnerable, to be down on the same level with them, while she's performing. And like I said, I think I said before, she used to live in a different place, and now she lives in the actual building. She kind of downsized from where she was living. Um, in the first draft, I had her lover actually living in the, because he would come, he was, this is the one where the guy, the officer, was actually stationed in Paris. They would come to town, anybody's apartment they wanted, they would just take it, and send the people away, you know. And this apartment where um he invites her over, he always comes to her apartment. In that draft, she also lived above the club, and he comes to her. He says, well, I want you to come to my place, right, my place. And it ends up being the home of a prominent Jew. She had been to this person's house, and here he was living, in this person's house. That was a very, very uncomfortable situation for her. Um, yeah, that really was, because she was like, so I can't. I don't. I think where she lived before was in some big hotel or something. I don't know. I can't imagine what happened to it. I hope no one's living there that she wouldn't want living there. But she lives, on top of the club now in a smaller place. Um, um, I'm trying to think. I can kind of at first it was kind of like a one big room, like kind of like a efficiency with just like one giant room with a little kitchen and kind of a, her bed with maybe a, screen in front of it or something like that. So maybe I'm still thinking along lines of something like that, something really, really like small and sexy and tacky, but nice, and a nice, of course, dressing room and place for, because she has so many clothes and shoes and stuff, and a little, dinette kind of set, kind of, because she lives by herself. So, I mean, I got a lot of stuff and I live by myself, but, um, that she'd be living in this kind of romantic little tiny little, place, and she's a star of the show, but I haven't decided if she really has money or if just, she makes enough money at the club to be comfortable. I don't know. Um, but I guess because of the black market and stuff like that, she does all right. She doesn't because actually I don't know if I wrote it or if I thought it, but the first time he's in the second draft, when he's the officer that is actually stationed in Paris, he he's standing there looking at her, and he says to his, in his mind, he's thinking to himself, well, that's enough to arrest her already. because she's wearing stockings, she's washed her hair with real shampoo. I mean, we can't conceive of how um scarce. I mean, can you imagine not being able to buy a lipstick? I mean, just not it's just not being any. Not you didn't have the money for it. You could have all the money in the world and there just wasn't any. Um, and she's wearing lipstick and she's wearing stockings, actual nylon, I guess, stockings. And her hair is washed with real shampoo. He can smell it. He can smell the real soap, that she's used, and he knows these things are black market items. And he thinks to himself, I could I could take her in for just that. And the thing is, when I thought about that, I thought, she's stupid. That's a stupid thing to do. You know, that was the first thing that the women who were going back into um, the part of occupied France, that the Vichy government um, ruled itself, put its own people on trains and east and stuff like that. And I thought that's the first thing they told you. You don't order this at the coffee shop. There hasn't been any. You don't wash your hair with real shampoo. You haven't used real shampoo, real soap, those kind of things. You just couldn't get them. And at first I thought, well, she's stupid. But then I thought, no, no, no. What it is, it's part of her persona. It's part of her. Yeah, I'm just a sexy, entertainer, and I don't care about who knows I'm going to the black market. It's because I'm stupid. I mean, it's part of her. Um, Even though she's a far from stupid woman, it's part of her. This kind of bravado of being so stupid as to have your hair pressed and marceled and it's smelling like soap, that and you got nylons, and it must have been black market stuff, because there's no way you could have got these things in the other way. And I think that's more or less it's kind of like I call it the shuffle and grin. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm just worried about and I know the mean old guys from the, black market are, that's not right, but I have to have my lipstick, kind of girl. And she isn't that kind of woman at all. But on the other hand, too, also I thought, well, she might just be that naive. I mean, she doesn't care, she doesn't, even though she really does have a lot at stake. But I not that I don't have any more respect for that character than I do for my one in autumn. I have a spot for my one in autumn because she's the answer to a lot of questions young black girls ask when they don't have the representation even in a fiction genre. And I think should be, and that's another reason why I don't put a lot of graphic sex in, because I want high school children to read it. I don't want it to be a piece of garbage. I want children to, not maybe not little children, but children to in high school, 16, 17, could could read it with their parents' permission, and it's not anything in there gross that would they be, I don't know. But that's why I don't use a lot of that stuff. And I do have a lot of respect for my World War II character. She, poor girl, she needs it. She gets deliberately misunderstood in the community, and to herself, she's not. She understand. Um, she understands the consequences of what she's doing. Um, and she is torn between her duty and what is what she can do. Is she doing all she can do without putting her daughter and these children that have been entrusted to her um at risk? How can she juggle all these parts of her life, resistance worker, protected mother, nightclub worker, mistress to some German guy, just it's a mess. So I have a lot of respect for all my ladies. And I think this will be it. Once again, well, I might do a little something, but if in case I don't, Happy New Year, everybody. Bye.